Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast, episode 79, Wrestlemania 33. I want to say thank you for listening. If you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com, at kfpodcast on the Facebook, at Ken Fred Podcast on the Twitter, at Ken Frederick Podcast on the Instagram, and also Ken Frederick Podcast on the YouTubes. We got the normal crew here tonight. We got Brock.
Hello, everyone.
Justin.
Yo.
Donald.
Hey.
And myself. We're talking a little Wrestlemania, because it's still real to us, damn it.
It's still real to me, damn it!
It is.
And we're live in our new studio.
Yes. If you'd like to sponsor our studio, feel free to contact us somehow.
Please forgive the running children upstairs making all kind of noise.
But
Okay. And then that's
awesome.
it.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
I'm just watching Justin write down things. That's
yeah.
all I got.
What are you writing over there?
Little notes to myself for maybe some audio things I can throw in.
Oh. Behind the curtain, Justin. Behind the curtain.
So let's talk about WrestleMania.
Let's.
Justin, we all hung out and watched WrestleMania together. Justin,
At Ken's
powered.
house.
Ken's chill room.
Yeah. The
And it was very short this year. Very
Very
short.
short.
It ate
Only
Very
a
rushed.
7-hour wrestling show.
from 5 hours till midnight.
It was so long that I brought two of my kids there, and they were like, I've never sat still in one place for that long ever in my life.
Yeah.
It's 6 hours and 40 minutes, I think, was the total.
God.
They were rolling around on the ground, like
They just couldn't handle it.
half in and out of consciousness. It was rough.
It was.
Pizza was good, though.
The
Pizza
pizza
was
was
good.
good.
I'm still eating that pizza.
Was it Little Caesars
The
Smokehouse?
Smokehouse.
pizza.
Little Caesars.
Free plug for Little Caesars.
I will admit I was afraid of it at first, just looking at it. But then once I started eating it,
Didn't you say I can eat this every day?
yeah, I did.
Such a variety.
It is.
Pulled pork.
It's like you're eating there's a
Then you
different
got that
meat in your
smoky
mouth.
taste to it.
It was good.
I love meat in my mouth. Wait.
Soundbite.
So there. Anyway, so WrestleMania.
So on here it says, where was it held? It was held in Orlando, Florida.
It was.
It was.
It
Citrus
set a
Bowl.
record at the Citrus Bowl.
It did.
For
Which
attendance.
apparently
A
isn't
little
that
over
hard.
75,000.
Because last year they had 101,000.
105. They were in Dallas Stadium, though, which is huge.
Yeah.
I think it was 101,000
Was
because
it?
the
All right.
highest, they had the All-Star game somewhere and it was 103 or some
Okay.
other something. But anyways. All right, so, and where did we watch it? My house. How long? 7 hours and 40 minutes.
He's following the notes.
Yeah.
So the pre-show had matches in it.
It did.
It had 2 matches in the pre-show, and 2 matches in a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah.
3 matches. They had the Battle Royal, the Cruiserweight title, and the Intercontinental title.
That's true. So the first one was Neville versus Aries for the Cruiserweight belt.
And this match was good, but it was, you almost didn't even realize it was a part of WrestleMania because it was so long to the end. Like,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculously long.
Yeah, it was 7 hours till the last one match
It was a
happened.
good opener for sure.
It was a good match,
Yeah.
though, and I was bummed Aries lost.
I think this is going to be an ongoing feud. This isn't like this isn't the end of a storyline. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Neville, that character's so over right now with the company that
Yeah.
I think they're going to build that up more as the dominant.
It was good, though. A lot of good spots in that match.
I
A lot of
honestly,
good stuff.
I think Neville is probably the most developed heel they have.
Yeah, he's the best character they've got by far.
I like Aries, too. You know, I've always been a big Aries fan. Even when he was in TNA, I always thought he was great.
The only reason he
You
stayed was
saw
Smokehouse
the
Pizza.
Battle Royal, where all the men were in it
Yeah.
with Big Show and
Yep.
Braun Strowman and everybody like that.
Sami Zayn.
It was a little shocking to me anyway to see the 2 biggest guys in the ring go out so early.
Yeah.
I think everyone was a little disappointed by that.
Well, it's poor booking.
It was poor booking. I mean, why would you not have Braun Strowman win it first?
What did he do to piss somebody off? Because he was at such a high point, getting a serious push, feuding with Roman Reigns, all this stuff. Beat him up 2 weeks before WrestleMania, knocks him down the
And
ramp.
he's back in it again with feuding with him.
But how much steam does he have now?
I guess they didn't want him winning the Battle Royal because it's usually good guys that win that. Well, Corbin won it last year, but
Yeah, he
He's a
wasn't
new
really
guy.
anything. But
I mean, Mojo Rawley won it. Who cares?
The only reason Mojo Rawley won that is because
Gronk
Gronk
was
agreed to do something with the WWE. If anybody else was friends with Gronk, then it would have.
Because they got Gronk in the ring and had him tag. How about the lady that thought it was real? Tried to kill
Oh,
Gronk
the
out of it?
security.
Did anybody
Nothing.
talk about that afterward? I was just curious if there are any
No,
articles about
because
it.
we're the only people that
It
care.
made it seem more real.
It did.
Did.
Because she was really grabbing a hold of him and
Like,
looking
no,
around.
you can't come over here.
And he's
sir.
looking at like, lady, what
part
are you
of the
doing?
You really ruined this.
Vince McMahon chewed her ass out later on that night.
The best thing to come out of that whole thing was
Jinder Mahal's business hair.
Corey Graves Monday night had a great line because Sami Zayn was one of the last ones eliminated, and he had a match, and they were talking about how Jinder Mahal got screwed by Gronk interfering, and Jinder Mahal and Sami Zayn had a match on Monday. And he's like, both these guys should be upset because of the outside interference. He's like, just think, if Sami Zayn had a friend, he could have interfered. I just thought it was funny.
If he had a friend.
Corey Graves is top talent on the
is.
mic for
If he
WWE.
keeps going at this pace, he could be Bobby Heenan by the end of his career.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
he's good. I enjoy him all
I
the
like
time.
when he tells, what's the other guy? Who's the other
Byron
guy?
Saxton.
What he tells, he always makes fun of him and
Yeah.
has some comment for him.
I'm sorry, I got off script.
That's all right. The next match, me and you missed because we went and picked up Smokehouse Pizza.
And apparently we didn't miss much.
Apparently we
didn't
didn't
miss
miss
much.
much.
Apparently Little Caesars is sponsoring the studio today.
Yeah, it was.
It was a quick match. Nothing
We
really
didn't even say what it was. It's Baron
Sorry.
Corbin versus Dean Ambrose, and Ambrose
for the
retained.
Intercontinental title. Nothing really happened. It was about
And
a
it looks like
5-minute
they're
match.
keeping that feud going for
Yeah.
a while.
They had a much better match on Tuesday on SmackDown. I thought an entertaining match at least.
Yeah.
As to anything goes or
I
whatever.
don't know.
Street
It's a
fight.
tough spot to be in, I guess.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like you need to phone that match in because you're not going to be the star of the night. Why waste anything that you're going to do in that storyline for third match in on? Because
It was a good build up towards it. If you watch SmackDown, the
Yeah.
feuds have been good. They've been torturing each other. And
I mean, I like that. What was it? Was it Baron Corbin almost ran him over with a forklift?
With a
Yeah,
forklift.
he tried to
No,
kill him
no.
with it, crush him with it. Yeah, and again, I think this is going to be an ongoing feud too, just like the Neville Aries feud.
yeah,
it's going
it'll
to
be
continue.
going for a while. It's one of those runs that runs through the summer and then
Mm-hmm.
cancels.
Maybe it'll end at like Hell in a Cell or
Yeah.
SummerSlam or something.
Now, the next match was interesting. The tag team match.
Tag team ladders match with Luke Gallows, Enzo, Big Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yep.
And also the surprise entrance of the Hardy Boys. I always feel weird calling them boys because they're old men now.
Say the Hardys. Though I love the way the New Day did it. That was good.
Because
Did a bait and switch.
yeah,
Because you thought it was going to be New Day coming
Especially
down.
the way Kofi took the hat off,
Yeah.
got serious like he was about to go.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the New Day's so great because they just start dancing to the other team's music and they're all into it.
Yeah.
And Kofi Kingston almost falls off the stage.
oh really?
Because the way they backed up, his foot's like right at the edge. I'm like, that would have been a long drop
Oh,
down.
man, he would have died.
He would have died.
He'd still be falling.
That's the one thing I will have to say about this is, aside from all the wrestling crap, the stage was impressive.
It was.
They spare no expense on making that thing look like a ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, think of the bank they make just on attendance alone.
Oh, God.
75,000 times $50 minimum ticket price. I'm
I mean,
sure.
$50 is up in the boonies. I don't
Yeah,
even think 50 is the
exactly.
cheapest you can get. How about those people sitting ringside?
Yeah, they're probably a couple grand for those front row seats.
WWE takes over Orlando for 5 days,
Yeah.
and they just are making money hand over fist. And
Even
all,
more than that, they were there for the whole week with access and all
Oh,
the other
yeah,
different
yeah,
things
yeah.
and that.
And
And,
it's-
then events Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, now the Tuesday.
Yep.
I've listened to Jim Ross's podcast. You know, I mean, it was his WrestleMania recap, and I guess there were over 100 indie shows
Yeah.
that week from all over the place. Some of them drew like 15, 20 people.
Doesn't matter. You're still getting that.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to put an indie show on? If you are smart in marketing and you're in the Orlando area, you literally could spit and find a wrestling fan. Just have a guy hand out flyers.
Michael Elgin did 4 shows in one day.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
probably did pretty well.
Yeah, just went to different places around the Orlando area.
Yeah,
just
you
'cause
go to WrestleCon.
everyone's there.
Yeah. Why not? Like it's basically the hub for.
Yeah.
If you're a wrestling fan, you don't even have to go to WrestleMania. Just go check out indie wrestling all
Well,
day.
speaking
Yeah.
of that's good. Speaking of indie wrestling with the Hardys, the Hardys were all over the indie scene.
They wrestled matches
Collecting
before.
belts.
Yeah.
I wonder how many matches they had that
Yeah,
weekend.
they had a ton that weekend.
They lost the night before. They lost the ROH tag belts on their pay per view on Saturday night in a ladder match. And Jeff Hardy got super kicked off the top of the ladder.
I heard it was brutal.
Yeah, and he was still feeling it. He went and jumped off the largest ladder they have.
Well, did you hear the way they brought them into this that nobody knew? I mean, the people in the match knew, and then they were in a bus outside, the entire time.
Yeah.
and weren't bringing them in. And then when they were they got ready in the bus, and then when it was time, they went out and got them, opened the door and walked them through, and people in the back were like, hey, holy shit, look who's here, and had no clue.
Good. I know that.
I don't even think the New Day knew. I think they knew somebody was coming out, but weren't totally sure who it was.
That'd be cool. I know that the people at the hotel said that they talked to Jeff Hardy, and he said he's
going to bed.
Yeah, he's broken, beat up, and he's just going to go to bed. And he snuck out the back and went to WWE.
And they went and won the Raw Tag Team Championships.
And I get to meet him on Saturday, so I'm excited.
Do you think they're still going to be there?
They are. They already confirmed it.
Is
So
it?
whenever this airs, maybe I'll have a picture of me with the WWE Tag Team belts.
It was cool. It was one of the better moments, a good WrestleMania moment, the way they came out.
Oh yeah.
So for WrestleMania 33, range of retail ticket prices was $38 up to a maximum of $2,130.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you pay $38 to go to that? Like if, you know what I mean? Like if you're down
You're
there,
sitting so far away.
Well,
So?
and you got to think, you got to wonder, are the $38 tickets the one up in the in the far corner that you have an obstructed view of the ring?
there's
you know
probably
what I mean?
the thing in front of you.
what do you for 7 hours? Like
Yeah.
who cares?
I'm sure there's screens you can see.
Right.
Like or walking around doing something. I was at WrestleMania for $38.
Yeah.
Right?
When I went to 23 10 years ago, my ticket I think was like $25-$30. It wasn't even that bad, but that was before it turned into this whole
This global
Thing.
phenomenon shit now. Yeah.
It's their Super Bowl.
Then the Hall of Fame wasn't public. There wasn't an additional show.
I wish Hall of Fame wasn't public, but we can talk.
Yeah,
about
that's
We
a
don't
whole
know.
other
Yeah,
story.
that's a whole other
So the
story.
Hardys won the tag belts.
Next, you had Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles, which I thought was a pretty decent match.
It might have been the match of the night.
It was a good rivalry. It was a good match. Like I said, Shane always performs at Mania.
Yep.
People were bitching about it, that this is a terrible opponent for AJ. Him and AJ worked great together.
Everyone knew this was going to be. I don't know. I thought this was going to be a good match.
Yeah, it was good.
So AJ won that one. Then we have Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the Raw Heavyweight Championship, which we'll never see in the other ones.
But yeah, for the United States Championship. And Owens won, which I thought this match was a little bit of a letdown.
I
They
don't.
didn't have enough time to tell the story they wanted to, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think especially whenever the women's match got moved to the main time, I think this might be a match that they decided to crunch.
Seemed like it went really fast. The ending was really quick.
Yeah.
It wasn't violent enough for me. Like
Right, 'cause this
Yeah.
is a feud they built for almost a year.
when he almost killed Jericho with that stuff before, I'm like, this is gonna be like a battle, and it was kind of like just like a match you would see on Raw. There wasn't anything that special about it, and it looks like that feud's gonna still keep going. So
I actually think that I heard somewhere where they might switch it and play the Jericho's hurt indefinitely because of that. And they might switch it to Finn and Kevin Owens, and
yeah, probably.
which unfortunately now without we'll get to it later. Let's talk about it.
And then you had John Cena, Nikki Bella versus the Miz and Maurice.
And I didn't know this until we started doing a betting sheet, and they said like, "Do you think that John Cena is going to propose to Nikki Bella?" And I go, "Now I do." Like,
I was surprised by that. I didn't even hear rumors of that was actually happening.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
rumblings of it, but
I literally that sheet in the afternoon because I thought the Miz and Maurice were going to win for some reason because there wasn't enough heels winning, but it's
The
WrestleMania.
surprise thing about that, I was surprised that I thought when he starts his proposal, people are gonna boo the shit out of this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get, and it got quiet.
it did. I was happy.
Like
for that.
it didn't. It got quiet, and people were like almost into it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is. People were. I thought they were going to be like, shut up, and hostile,
Yeah.
and they like,
Not like Roman Reigns on Monday night.
yeah, and they liked it. So I don't know. Good for them.
Yeah.
Then we had the Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax.
I was bored with this match too.
I don't know what it
Too
did.
many people in it.
Yeah, I hate title matches with multiple people in it.
It's too many.
I don't
people
mind
in it.
them, but I don't want it at WrestleMania. WrestleMania should be the storyline that you've built up to between two things. Maybe a triple threat match for some reason, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they teamed up, throwing Nia Jax out of the ring, and got her down, and then it was just a match between them. I don't know. It was all right.
yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see Nia Jax win that because I'm tired of it's the same crew
Yeah.
on Raw with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they mixed Bayley into the mix, but it's the same crew.
It is.
I hope they get Emma into that title picture a little bit too.
Maybe they'll do a Charlotte because Charlotte Flair might be doing it. She got beat up by Nia Jax, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I thought it was good.
I didn't mind the match. I'm disappointed that Randy won the match.
Me too.
I don't see how this.
Yeah, it made Bray Wyatt a transition champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just it was to get the belt off Cena, so you didn't have to have Cena and Orton for the 80 millionth time.
Yeah.
And it was.
I don't know what they're doing with this because they never let the Bray Wyatt character build any steam.
No.
You don't. And we'll talk about SmackDown because I'm annoyed with what they did on there too. We'll get to that. But yeah, I wanted Bray to win and keep that belt. They don't want to build him up. Randy Orton doesn't need the title again. It's just
Now
like,
13 times.
Yeah.
Unless they do my idea of having 3 different people have a 16-time champion.
You heard it here first. about
Triple H
6
got
months
15.
Yep. Orton just needs a couple. Maybe they'll trade it back and forth this year. So WrestleMania.
A couple years.
Yep.
How about Triple H for Seth Rollins? I thought that was good.
That was a good match. Again, I think they needed more time to tell their story as well.
Tough with all these.
It's a lot of matches. It's 13
too much.
matches.
I just like Triple H's entrance.
On the Chopper
was
City.
The Orange County Chopper's motorcycle. Not motorcycle.
Tricycle.
Trike. That was
Triple H always has a
huge.
good entrance.
When you run it, you should be able to.
One of the
He
perks
always
of the
makes it
job.
good.
Yeah.
But Rollins predictably won that
Yeah.
Yeah.
after Stephanie got knocked through a table.
Yeah.
Which was a good storyline. They used that
Good.
to build a storyline.
Like I said, it was a good, entertaining WrestleMania match.
Yeah, it was.
Triple H doesn't disappoint. How about the Universal title?
Uh,
Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Now, everybody was going to say this is going to be... I actually was impressed that they did longer than I thought they were going to go. I know this whole match was spears and suplexes,
They went non-stop, though.
but these guys are not... They don't know anything else.
They're not spring chickens.
That's all they do. I mean,
Right.
that's all
high
they know.
impact, real quick.
You know, it was like an old school match, high impact, real fast over. They're not going to go 15 minutes.
No,
they're
you
not-
can't do what they did for 15 solid minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Goldberg took, 15 suplexes? Something like
10
that?
10
10
suplexes.
suplexes?
Brock took,
Four spears.
4 spears and a jackhammer.
4 spears. They went through a table.
All this in about 4 minutes. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they took a beating.
Yeah.
They did good. They put on a good I mean, I'm just pissed Lesnar won and get the belt again.
Well, if it ends up being Lesnar holding the belt to WrestleMania, whenever Rollins.
It's just a whole. We just got the Universal title not even a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's just off TV now.
Yeah, that's what annoys me.
Yeah.
That you're not going to see it all the time. But.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what match would you expect to come after Goldberg and Brock Lesnar?
Alexa Bliss and all the women available.
Yep. The vote,
6-pack challenge.
which was
I felt they dropped a ball on this big time by not having surprises.
yes.
You
Just
say
one or
all
two
women
would've been
available. What's that?
Just 1 or 2.
One or two would have been good.
Just an
Kelly
NXT
Kelly,
girl.
an NXT girl,
Yeah.
Anybody.
Somebody.
somebody. Just,
Or someone from the Raw roster come over. Like
Yeah.
they pick someone up.
Yeah, because
Just-
they're shaking up the roster.
yeah, all available women. They dropped the ball on it. It was boring. It ended up being boring. I can't stand Naomi. I mean, she's a nice person and all that stuff. I'm not saying I can't stand her personally, but her character is boring as hell. They want her to win in front of the home crowd.
Yeah.
It's so boring. All that dancing and all that. I think Alexa Bliss is so good and such a great heel champion. I think she's even better than Charlotte
She'll have
when
it
she's
back.
heel. And they take it
By
away
the
from her
end of
to
the
give it Naomi.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who wins with that hold? It doesn't even look like it's doing anything.
No, it's just like
I'm pulling you towards me. All right, and I'll just go along with you.
yeah. I don't really get that, but
Dumb.
all right. So then the main event, the last match of the
Main
night,
event.
is the dog versus dog. Who
In
let
the
the
yard of
dogs
the
out?
yard.
Whose yard is it?
Undertaker,
who poops in
Roman
my yard?
Reigns. Which we knew this was coming. Roman Reigns retired the Undertaker.
Which is annoying.
I wouldn't have thought they would have picked Reigns to retire him.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because Jesus, I don't. This guy gets such a push, like, and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Well, we were talking about this off the podcast, but I read an article about him. They said that Vince likes him because number one, he sells the most merchandise, even more than John Cena. The kids and the women love him. The men hate him so venomously that he said in the article, there's some heels that we can't get that kind of heat. That we have put heels out there and made them insult the crowd. You remember when they try to make Kevin Owens mad? People are still cheering him. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you idiots, shut up!" And everybody's like, "Yeah!" And they love it. Especially when they do it at Jericho and they make him bad.
Yeah.
He has such heel heat. And the guy said in the article, if he would turn and start going, "Shut up and be quiet. I'm better than all you," that it would be that the crowd would get bored with it. They don't get bored with it. They love booing this guy.
Yeah.
He's such a big star.
I don't disagree with you, but if you look at the push that he, like, the amount of time he's had on top,
Yeah.
like, remember when he had the U.S. belt and we're like, okay, this isn't a bad spot
Yeah.
for him. Like, he can maybe, like, do something and get ahead or, try to turn this around. And then all of a sudden, now he's got the U.S. belt, but he's still wrestling for the heavyweight.
Because it's working for them.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's not working. Like, it's not working for me. I don't want to. I'd like to see someone else in there.
Yeah.
You would. I know we all would. But it's working for the WWE. He, like you said, he's outselling John Cena for merchandise. So he's making money for them, hand over fist. And then this article was brilliant the way it said. It said he gets the crowd so worked up that, like, the crowd's into the show. Like, look at the beginning of Monday Night Raw. For 10 minutes, Roman Reigns stood there while the crowd went crazy and just cheering, screaming, yelling, F you chants, all this stuff. And then he just said, it's my yard now, walked out, and they went even crazier. Then they were fired up the rest of the night. So to me, I think that's kind of like brilliant booking.
I don't know. I feel like they can pat themselves on the back and say it's brilliant booking, but I think that they just, like, they wanted to make this guy the next John Cena, and the crowd hates him.
But he really is.
But
Because John Cena, same thing.
I respect John Cena. I don't respect Roman Reigns because he's fat underneath that vest and he can't wrestle.
I actually saw an article similar to what you were saying, but that his Monday night appearance, he was never planned to say anything.
Yeah.
But that one line at the end and walk-offs, he was planned to go out there and stand and say absolutely nothing for 10 minutes because they knew the reaction the crowd was going to give him.
If fans wanted to really stop it,
They should say anything.
they should say anything.
Yeah.
If they just sat there and were bored, then they'd be like, we're getting nothing. The crowd's dead. No one cares. And then it would really impact him more. But people can't stop when they get in there and they're like, boo, and they just boo and go crazy. It works the crowd up, and you know what? Heel heat's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he hasn't done anything to deserve this heat other than getting a push.
Yeah.
Which the fans 2 years ago were pushing for, booing everybody else, because I was at the 2014
He
Royal Rumble.
won the Royal Rumble when they wanted Daniel Bryan to win it.
Exactly.
And it still hasn't
Exactly.
changed.
Let's
It still
look at
hasn't
anybody,
changed.
any smart marks out here. Daniel Bryan's done. Get over it.
Yeah.
He wasn't that great to begin with. Let's move on from that. Let's start thinking about something new because he's not coming back.
WWE Daniel Bryan was not good, but Indie Daniel Bryan was decent.
He was.
But I don't know. It's not even the fact that I wanted him that day. It's just like, as a wrestling fan, I like a little bit of unpredictability in my stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever I see Roman Reigns, I go, okay, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same old shit.
And it's the same thing I fight with smart marks on the internet about when they go, we don't want this, and I go, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care. They
writing the checks.
You are still subscribing to the WWE Network. You still turned in for WrestleMania. You're still showing up when Raw comes to your town. They don't care. He's selling merchandise.
Remember the night after he won the Royal Rumble in 2015, there was going to be a boycott of the WWE Network.
Yeah.
And then there's fire
And then it
went through the
sells
roof.
out.
Yep.
It's just true. I mean, they just sit there and go, we don't care. You write all these negative comments. Because I honestly
At least you're
think,
talking about
I
it.
honestly think a little bit
Press.
that they listen to the fans, like with the Hardys.
Yeah.
That was them listening to the fans.
Yeah.
The fans wanted the Hardys at Mania. They wanted them back here. They went and did it. They put the belts on them. That's them saying, we're listening to you, Ken, and the other people. And we're giving you, like, the Owens, we're giving you this. But guess what? We got to bring our moneymaker out for the main event because he's going to sell 1 million things at WrestleMania.
And to be honest with you, I'm not even upset that he beat, like, The Undertaker. It is what it is. Like, I get the fact that he's the one, he's like the golden boy of WWE and whatever else. But it's just, to me, I don't turn in for his time because it's predictable and lame.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
totally.
poor. To me, it's just, it's...
See, but I think he's a good wrestler, though. I don't get. People
doesn't have
say
bad
he's horrible.
matches.
He doesn't have bad matches. He can wrestle big men. He can wrestle little guys. Him and Daniel Bryan put on some good shows. Him and the Undertaker weren't that bad. He's wrestled Strowman. He's wrestled bingo guys. I don't know why when people are like, he's absolutely horrible. I'm like, he's not horrible. There has been wrestlers that were horrible.
Well, yeah,
Do you really think he
Hulk
can't
Hogan.
wrestle better than The Rock, than his cousin The Rock could? I mean, The Rock did 4 moves too. People's elbow things, you know.
No,
But,
if you watch the Rock's match, it's a lot different than watching a Roman
yeah, but I
Reigns
mean,
match.
it wasn't like, oh my god, I haven't seen Stone Cold Steve Austin for me. Never like, I mean, his earlier stuff, but when he became Stone Cold, he would just come down and stun people and punch and stomp
Yeah.
bundles at them. It was a lot of the repetitive stuff.
That's, I think, the formula.
There's a lot of people worse than Roman Reigns. But
Yeah.
he takes a lot of heat that, like...
And he doesn't
Well,
really
you know why
deserve
he
it
takes
at
all the heat? Because he's your poster boy.
Yeah.
He's like, if you want
He's the
to,
establishment now.
yeah, if you want your racehorse to be that, then it's got to take that criticism.
Yeah.
If you want to take the criticism that it shouldn't look like he should be selling moves on his back because he's got padding all over it, that bothers me.
Padding really bothers you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're D'Lo Brown. If you're going to start going off all this stuff, the establishment created. D'Lo Brown, when he had the European belt, wasn't allowed to wear that vest.
Yeah, I don't know why he wears it. It baffles me. I don't understand it.
It's just
I don't know. Like I said, I read
fat.
Is
It's
it a
holding all the
comfortability
fat.
thing, or there's a scar he's hiding, or something?
He's got a big
or
wiener.
what I think it is that
drawn on him. I didn't finish that sentence.
people. It's a merchandising thing. Kids all buy
You
that
put new
vest.
logos on it for
You
the
put
t-shirt.
new logos on it, people go buy it. I mean, it's
Are people buying flak jacket vests?
no,
Then they're
but
buying
that-
the shirts with the logo on it.
They sell that item. You can buy the vest and the wrist things, and they sell out on WWE.com. Little kids love them. Little kids love them. And what he's saying, when the sons that have to go and their dads aren't into wrestling, the mums go. The mums love him. My wife loves this guy. So they're the ones going, oh, honey, yeah, you can have a shirt. Oh, you want a Roman thing? You want a Roman poster? I love me Roman Reigns. And then it's just more money for Vince, who goes, oh, Ken Frederick's unhappy that Roman Reigns is going to be in a spotlight. Guess what? He's going to be in it again next week.
That's why I watch
And you're going to
NXT.
tune in again next week.
The only thing I wish is that the streak hadn't been broken before this match. It would have been more impactful for me if the streak was still intact, instead of having Lesnar, who didn't need to break the streak, break it a few years
Well,
ago.
now that's setting up, moving into Monday Night Raw. Lesnar is mad, apparently, at Lesnar's mad at Roman because he used to be the one.
It's so convoluted and,
and now,
stupid.
and I mean, I don't know what Heyman was talking about, but he's like, "You're the 2 and 23-2, and those two need to go 1-on-1." I'm like, "You lost me."
And then Braun Strowman came out.
And then Braun Strowman came out.
Braun Strowman.
I would like to see Braun Strowman go and Lesnar
because
fight.
Braun Strowman's bigger, and it's something we haven't seen before.
Yeah. But apparently, it's going to be Roman versus Braun again. And Lesnar will be gone for a while, and then Roman versus Lesnar. I just hope get it out of the system. Have Roman beat him at
SummerSlam?
SummerSlam and be done with it.
No, this is going 3 matches. It's going SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania.
I would love to see Finn Balor fight Lesnar
Why?
because people.
Just look like a spider monkey crawling all
here's
over
the
that
thing.
big dude.
Finn Balor returned Monday night, right?
Yeah.
Finn Balor is my favorite wrestler in the WWE currently. I think this guy is tremendous.
Okay.
Now,
tremendous.
I think he is very much like, there's certain guys that are small and they just small, but some guys carry themselves in their ring presence big.
They
He
transcend their.
He reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels, who Finn Balor's like 5'11". Shawn Michaels is listed at 6 foot. I don't even know if that's true. Flair's around that same size. Flair had that ring presence, so did Michaels.
Savage.
Flair could Savage too, where Flair or Shawn Michaels would fight Diesel, who was 7 feet tall,
And
and
you
it
believe
didn't.
that he could beat him.
It didn't look bad. You know what I mean? Angle's only 5'11", 6 foot, somewhere around there. He fought Lesnar. It's believable. Where I think Balor, you could sell that match that he could be the Demon versus the Beast. And it's a lot of jumping out of the way and those kicks that he does and knocking him down.
He should be the automatic #1 contender. He never lost the
He
title.
should. And I think that it would,
But
like,
we're not going to remember that.
shout out to Mike Johnson, who hates Finn Balor,
Yeah.
who says he should just be out on 205 Live. I disagree. I think Balor could be believable against a monster.
I also think Kevin Owens could be believable against him too.
I do too, because he has weight to him.
Yeah. And also, too, he's actually, like, I don't know, he's a wrestler. I feel like he could do some grappling and not just all suplexes.
I thought Balor's return was great. I thought he was great in the ring. He didn't show any ring rust,
No,
But he came out to help the guy who put him out.
which was odd, the two of them together.
But I thought up until, like, the end, whenever they celebrated together, like, he
gonna
was
turn.
he was stoic the entire
I
time.
thought he was going to do something
Yeah.
too. I thought there was going
I
to be
was
a
like,
turn.
okay, this is going to be a little...
Did he come out as the demon, or did he come out
Just
as...
he comes
Just
out his
leather
leather jacket, Finn
Undies.
Balor.
It comes out as stripper Balor, as Mindy likes to call him. Just comes out, opens up his jacket.
He's good though.
So yeah, I always liked Finn Balor. I liked
Who else came up? The Revival came up. They beat the shit out of the News.
That was
Yeah.
big for them.
Yeah.
They didn't just win the match; they left them laying. Even Kofi outside.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the New Day is going to go to SmackDown.
I think so too. Because
I think
what
they-
else do they have left to do on Raw?
They should go to SmackDown, win the titles there, and put the tag team titles on the map there, like they did for the Raw ones. Make them important. They should go do that. That'd be a good trip for them.
Yeah,
Because the Revival can feud with Enzo and Cass and Gallows and
the
everybody
Revival's
else.
very good. I'm glad they're
Yeah.
finally up on the main roster.
Yeah, they're gonna be. They're
Who
something
else
special.
debuted that on Raw then? Because the Revival came up, Balor
Um,
came back. There was someone else that showed up. We have good notes.
Yeah,
I don't think so. At least not on my Hulu.
I think that was it.
Unless someone came up on 205 Live.
No, I thought there was one.
I
other
didn't watch
person
that this
debuted.
week. There
But,
were a couple on SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown. The big one was Nakamura.
And I didn't understand why he came out when he did, but it was perfect because it was
Well, it
like,
was good because they had the guy playing the violin and all
Yeah.
that. I thought he was gonna like go beat up the Miz a little bit, but
So
the
did
Miz
I.
ran the hell out of the
Yeah.
ring.
I just like because I was fast forwarding just so I could get through it so I could talk about it on the podcast. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, I know
He was
Nakamura
good.
comes out. I'm like, oh, he comes out during the Miz. So I like rewound it and watched.
Your
like,
boy
the-
Ty Dillinger came up.
Yeah, and I like that he fought Kurt Hawkins. I think Kurt Hawkins is good.
I don't really get why people go so crazy over Ty Dillinger.
You mean you don't get why people like to chant 10
Is
instead
it just
of
a
yes?
chant?
It's
Is
the
it just
sing-along
It's just a
effect.
Yeah,
chant.
yeah.
So if it wasn't for a chant, no one would
That,
care.
he's been a company guy for like 10
He
years
is,
now.
and-
Finally got
and
his break.
I just don't. People are like, "Oh, this guy's the next champion. This guy's so great."
He's never gonna hold a
It's
title.
almost like becoming a Dan O'Brien thing.
He's
you know?
he's going to be the next Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be around forever. He's always going to
Gone
be
over for hard work, nothing based on the
Yeah.
company. You know, it was
He might hold a U.S. or an Intercontinental
Maybe.
belt, but he's not going to be your SmackDown champion.
Yeah.
And you know what? He might be put on a tag team. He's going to float around.
And he's okay. These people go nuts. You give anyone a chant, you could say any chant. People go nuts over a chant.
He's going to be Tyler Breeze. When Tyler Breeze first came up, they pushed him, gave him some Intercontinental title matches, never won anything,
Yeah.
and then went to mid-card obscurity.
Yeah.
which
Mark
is
my
sad
words.
because
shame.
he's good too.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest letdown for me on SmackDown was Eric Rowan returns with Bray Wyatt. So they have the two of them. They're fighting skinny-looking black tank top Luke Harper and
He looks so
Randy
clean
Orton.
now.
And when they were going, and that's the main event, all I kept thinking was they're going to debut a new member of the Wyatt family. They're going to try and build the Wyatts back up
Yeah.
to win this match. The match goes on and on and on. They come down to the end. Randy Orton's about to like RKO Bray Wyatt. The lights go out and the music hits. And I'm like,
I got so excited.
and I was like, oh, who is it? Like, there's going to be someone in the ring. And then Bray Wyatt's up the ramp, leaving Eric Rowan in there to get
It just switched places. with him.
RKO'd and beat up by Luke Harper, and they pin him, and then the match ended and the show ended. And I was like, the hell was that? and Bray Wyatt's standing there clapping, like happy that like Luke Harper got beat up and not him, or Eric Rowan got it. Because the whole thing, I just thought that's what's going to happen. As soon as the lights went off, like I like stood up like, oh, here you go. Who is it? Are they going to repackage somebody as a
Yeah.
Wyatt member? Maybe Bo Dallas or
I thought
somebody like
Sanity
that.
was going to come up.
And then nothing.
Oh,
And then
that's a
just
good
a
call.
total letdown.
I didn't understand Eric Rowan's cybernetic sheep mask.
It was like a gas mask, sheet mask.
Yeah.
It was very odd. They just dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
And I kind of have a feeling that AJ Styles might be leaving for Raw because he came out, shook Shane McMahon's
Said he
hand,
didn't want to leave.
said he didn't want to leave. That's a mistake if they put him on Raw.
No, he should be.
Because he is the man on SmackDown. He will be buried on Raw with Roman Reigns, Balor, and all. I mean, maybe they could do a Bullet Club thing, put them all together.
That's what Finn Balor should be doing. Unless they have them all together, then they should see who's going to fight, or have them all be the Bullet Club, or the Balor Club, or the club, or
Whatever club.
a club
Some
sandwich.
version of a club sandwich. I don't know. I'm worried that they'll sort of waste Nakamura on SmackDown, but I don't know.
Who's the champ? Randy.
Because I wanted to see Nakamura fight Lesnar. I thought that would be a good fight.
Well, if they shake this up, they might have just saved Nakamura to debut on SmackDown
And then
just
bring him
have
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm glad he's on SmackDown right now, though. Build
love-
that character more on the mainstream.
He needs some help with the mic work.
who's better than Paul Heyman?
Yeah, he needs some help because he's very charismatic and good, but when he starts talking, it sounds horrible, and you need to learn how to talk to be on the main roster.
Or you have the Miz. Have him as a heel. Or have Funaki.
Now that the Miz is John Cena stuff away, he'll fade away to obscurity again.
He'll win the Intercontinental Championship
Yeah,
again.
he's a great heel.
He should just be a manager. The Miz would be a great Bobby Heenan type manager where he could get beat up, he can take bumps, but he can also be a manager.
So that's it. They're going to shake it up next week. They're going to. It's not really a draft because they're not calling it a draft. They're calling it a superstar shake-up.
Shake.
They're just going to mix people in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, any other thoughts on wrestling, folks?
I don't think there was any other NXT stuff that happened.
No, other than Drew McIntyre, the forensic scientist.
He's there.
Drew McIntyre.
The chosen one has returned.
Yep.
What do you do with him?
Yeah,
I thought he was so boring in Impact. I mean, I just
that's
don't.
writing though. I think he could be decent. I also think NXT needs a secondary championship by now because it almost seems like when they changed the belts at the last pay-per-view, that they're trying to make it not developmental. I think that those belts don't look developmental type.
Trying to go in their own brand.
Yeah. So they're going to separate.
Well, that's why I thought the United Kingdom belt would be a secondary belt on there, but it's never on.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it at all.
They're still trying to build that brand overseas, though.
That would be a good secondary belt.
Yeah, but how do you defend that? Like, do you just
can have it over here in the States.
Yeah, but if I need to get Drew McIntyre over, he can't win. Well, actually, he could win.
He could go over and win that belt over and be the UK champ.
That's a good. Well, and then also too, that kind of squashes the fact
that Aleister Black's British too, or whatever his name is.
They have enough British guys. I don't know.
William Regal's just going to win it with brass knucks.
William Regal's going to.
The last bit of good news though is they did announce they're going to have that all women's championship.
I'm excited for that.
That'll be really good.
A lot of people we haven't seen before.
Hopefully, we see some indie talent from there come over.
I hope we see some blue pants. Maybe she comes back as her actual. What is her name?
Leva Bates.
Leva Bates. I'd like to see Veda Scott from ROH come up and do.
I want to see Sexy Star.
Sexy Star.
And Eva Lise.
There's a lot of good women's wrestling out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I guess they've already gotten the 32 selected. There's 17 different countries represented, so there's a good chance quite a few of them will be in there.
Good. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Justin, anything to add?
Your thoughts
how would you have rated WrestleMania
as an outsider?
As an entertainment
This
show.
is for Adam and Jim, who's suffered through this podcast, as a person that doesn't like wrestling or doesn't
Was
care.
it entertaining or was it boring? What did you think?
There were a few matches that were entertaining.
Were you there for the Smokehouse Pizza?
I was mostly there for the food and the camaraderie.
And the fellowship.
It is a good time.
It was. I had a good time.
It's fun.
Yep. Well, there you go.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, invite, and tell your friends. If you have any thoughts on wrestling or our opinions, please leave us a message on something and we'll ignore it and not listen to your opinions. So, thanks.
Later.